This short video is going to go with this slide and the next one, and both of these are maps of where these early civilizations in the Indus Valley pop up. So spend a little bit of time looking at them, and if you don't know where modern-day India or Pakistan or the Indus River is, maybe pull up Google and just Google Indus River, look at a map, see where it is. We're talking about an area that is a couple of thousand miles east of where we've talked about before. It is in the west of modern-day India. As you go through here, kind of spend some time looking at these maps and see what you can pull out. Some of them give you an idea of where rivers are, of where mountains are, where these civilizations are in relationship to oceans nearby, and think about how that might impact these people. If they're near rivers and oceans, does that mean they can move around? If they're near mountains, does that limit their movement? What do you know about life in mountains, or especially the Himalayan mountains that are north of these folks? They're big, they're dramatic, it's cold up there. Those mountains change weather patterns. All these types of things are going to influence the civilizations that develop. For our purposes, people start farming the area near the Indus River around 3200 BC. And hopefully you did the reading in the textbook before you got to this lecture. And that means that 3200 BC means that we're in the Bronze Age, if that kind of parallels to what you've seen in the book. The civilization here really flourishes. It reaches its peak about 2500 BC, 2500. So that means we're talking about the same time as those Sumerian civilizations we looked at when we were studying Mesopotamia. Where are they? Well, they cover much of modern-day Pakistan, western part of India, Afghanistan, and that means that these folks are way bigger in terms of geography than Mesopotamia. They're also much bigger in terms of population, and people have speculated that there are maybe 5 million inhabitants up at its peak. As of the last decade, archaeologists had discovered over 1,000, I think it's about 1,050 distinct cities and settlements. But of those 1,000, they had only really started to uncover or explore 96 of them. Most of these are near the Indus River, or they're near another river that used to be around there. Don't worry about its name, but it's called the Gagar-Hakar River. It has dried up sometime in the past thousands of years, so it's not a river anymore, but we know it used to be and that people were there. So if people are living near rivers, much like in Mesopotamia, that's going to provide water, irrigation, transportation potentially, good soil when the rivers flood. It's also going to provide potential problems in terms of flooding being very disastrous. And if we tie that to some other things when we get to geography, we can see how it might help them in some instances and it might hurt them in others.